The other day I filmed this video and I wasn't wearing contacts, so I couldn't see what I looked like in the viewfinder. I didn't look at myself in the mirror and I just had literally no idea what I looked like. So then when I went to edit it, I had a massive line from here to here of contour that was not blended in whatsoever. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I literally can't use that whatsoever. I have to remake the video. I hate refilming videos because I feel like they're never as good as the first time. So this is my second time filming a how I get my aesthetic video. Let's get at it, round 2. Let's go. So I always get asked questions about these collage walls that I have in my room. I've had these collage walls like on my closet, for example, since I was in like the 6th grade. And so before it was like a whole trend and everything, like I was on the bandwagon. I was obsessed with it. I just love the way it looks. I think it just like fills up a space on a wall really nicely, adds like an aesthetic to it and adds like pops of color and just inspiration. And for me, I look at these collage walls as like mood boards and inspiration boards and stuff like that. So all the photos that I put on these walls are either things that I'm into, things I want to be into, things I want to do, places I want to go, people I love, stuff like that. Some of the photos, like in this one and this one, for example, oh, you can't see that one, but in this one, like that's just a picture of me and my friends. So if there's like an artsy photo that I think matches the like vibe and aesthetic of the wall that I'm going for, I print it out. But all these photos that I find for these collage walls, I find on Pinterest or Visco. A lot of them on Visco are just like on my feed and I just screenshot them and end up cropping them. The ones on Pinterest, like let's say I'm going to make like a color oriented collage wall. So like for example, on this wall, I have like a red box, a blue box, a yellow box, a blue box. I literally will just go on Pinterest and type like blue aesthetic, yellow aesthetic, white aesthetic, and it will just give you all those photos in that color, and then you can just go through them, save them to your computer of like whichever ones you like. And so that's how I get the photos. I have some like boards made on my Pinterest that I'll link below so that y'all can like go there to get some inspiration, or if you just literally want photos right away. I think I have like literally hundreds of them saved because this goes into like how I print them all. I either use Shutterfly to print them or I go to like Walmart, CVS. So whenever Shutterfly has a sale, like they just had one where it was a 250 free prints, I did that and I literally just printed 250 photos. I didn't need them, but I was just kind of like, hey, it's always nice to have like an overstock of them because I love going into my collage walls and like changing out photos and stuff if they grow out of style or something like that. That's how I print them. Like, you can find cheap options and cheap like means of going about printing these photos for the walls. And then once I get all the photos, I just use putty or double-sided tape, whatever like surface you're putting it on. Just like try to think of what like material is best to use, but for me I just use putty. And then for stuff like my wall, when it's like this, I don't have like a specific layout when I go to put it together. I just literally just like have a stack of pictures and I just randomly put them up and then it just ends up looking good. For me, when I was making a board like this, I just kind of laid them out on the floor and I was like, okay, I like the way this looks, and I just like broke it down by color, and I had like a pile of reds, pile of blues, and then I kind of just like swapped them around and played around with like the look until I got the kind of look and vibe that I liked. I also find that collage walls are just like really popular in dorm rooms because it's like decorative and aesthetic and just a really simple, cute, easy way to like decorate a space and fill a space. I love mine so much. Like putting it up, although it can be a hassle and it can take some time, especially on like my closet doors, it's just my favorite thing to look at in my room. I look at this and I just get like happy right away. And so I love collage walls, and that goes on to me making these collage boards. A lot of you have asked about them because I have them in my college dorm room and I have one right there. What I do with these boards is the same thing. I go on Pinterest or Visco and I screenshot photos that I like, and then I kind of just cut them out and lay them out and organize them on a canvas. Once they're on the canvas, I just use like double-sided tape and voila, that's done. In regards to these ones that I had behind my bed, I was originally gonna pay $100 for these and I was gonna buy them off some like girl that made them, but then I was like, wait, I can literally just make this myself. And so I did the same thing, went on Pinterest and Visco, screenshotted photos, printed them all out, used double-sided tape to put them down and glue, and then I Mod Podged, right? I think that's the word. I Mod Podged it all together, and like I made 2 of these boards that I would have paid like $200 for literally like 15 bucks. I don't even know what the price was, but it was just so cheap and so not expensive that I didn't even think like, oh no, I'm spending too much money. In regards to how I edit my Instagram photos, a lot of people ask me about this, and so let's get into it. The only 2 apps that I use to edit are Lightroom. On Lightroom, I've bought a ton of presets from people. I had like a phase in my feed where I literally just used the same exact filter, and like for me, I really liked it in the moment, and so I just kept spending literally so much money on presets. Looking back in retrospect is so stupid of me because I could have just made them myself or used apps that like have presets for free. So for a phase of my life, I absolutely adored Tristan and Indy's presets. Like, they were my favorite things. They look like this. It was a pack of 4. The goal of presets is usually for it to like look good on most photos, but you do have to go in and like edit them yourself sometimes. And then I bought this pack from people. I don't know who that was by, but as soon as I bought it, I immediately regretted it because I just didn't like the way they looked at all. So now what I've kind of been doing is just making my own presets and kind of just editing each picture individually to how I like it. To do that, what you do is you go in color and you go to mix, and then you kind of just like play around with each color. So as you can see here, like playing with the pinks, it makes it go like that. All you have to do kind of is play with these until it like gets the look that you want. It can get really tedious and whatnot. If you're dedicated to the game, it'll all work out. It can go from that to that, and I know it's not like that dramatic of a change. I give so much credit to people that make them because making a preset that matches and works well on a ton of photos is extremely difficult. So it kind of just like got to the point where I was like, ooh, I want to play around and see if I can make my own preset. And I did, and I was so excited, and it looks like that. So I don't use it all the time, but sometimes I use it. The other app that I'm majorly obsessed with and I use literally all the time is Tezza. So with Tezza, I only use one filter. I'm obsessed with it. It is my favorite thing in the whole entire world, and it's just vintage. That's what it looks like. You can obviously play with how much of it you want, and then you can go in and play with like the brightness and just stuff like that. I know for me, I really like having like an aesthetic and vibe to my Instagram feed, and there are times where it is really aesthetic and really color coordinated, but it can get really difficult because if there's like a photo you want to post that doesn't match your feed, it's kind of like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna post the photo anyways. I know for me, there's phases like when I'm home, my photos are so bad, and then when I'm at school, they're so good. And so it's really just like a roller coaster of like, oh, my feed looks really good and my feed looks literally awful. I'll scroll through my feed and kind of give a vibe. So like as time goes on, I kind of like have changed looks, changed like filters and presets that I like, and so you can definitely tell by my Instagram feed like when I was into like certain presets and when I wasn't. My feed used to literally just be like, like I don't even know what that is. And then the moment I went to California once, it turned into like this bright high contrast thing, and it kind of just like stayed really matchy. So this was like very matchy. And then I don't even know what happened the beginning of freshman year. That's just, let's not talk about it. But then I kind of went into like this aesthetic, I want to say, and then I got really into like these filters and presets. I don't know why. Kind of regret it going back. And then like the summer like feed right there, and then like this was, I really liked this aesthetic also. Like these quadrants right here, I loved them. And then it goes into like this year, I don't really know what that was, still don't really know what's happening. And then this part of my Instagram I really love also. That's very matchy, and now I'm just kind of like wherever life takes me. To get like an Instagram aesthetic, something that is really helpful is planning out your photos so that you can see what it looks like on your feed before. And so for that, I use Planoly. Planoly is like this. You can drag the photos wherever you want, rearrange them, and just import a photo. Go in here and hit add and upload, and then once it's in, you can just be like, okay, I like the way that looks, or okay, I don't want that at all. I'm just gonna delete it. I think it's free, and there are some other applications like it. This is just the one I use. You can also post directly from the app and have it like planned out if that helps you. For Instagram stories, if you get tired of just like the boring fonts that they have, something that I use is this app called Over. So on Over, I will just go click transparent. I'll write something like happy birthday, and it has like all these different fonts like this that are just so different. So let's say I did one like this. All you have to do is click the check, export it, and just save it as a copy. You can just edit copy, edit paste. It adds like a different font that's not just like an Instagram font. Another like cool thing you can do for your feed is like use the shapes and stuff that you have. Like you can use a period and make it a circle. You can add like lines to your story by just like making stuff really big like this and have it go like that. Like there's so many ways to make stories creative and artsy if you want, just on the Instagram app. And that's just kind of how I go about my stories. There's really not much to it. I don't put a ton of effort into them, I guess I would say. In regards to like making collages and stuff like that, the app that I live and swear by, and I've used it ever since like the 6th grade, is called Pic Collage. To get rid of people in photos, sometimes I use Adobe Photoshop, which is like definitely a more technical way of getting people out of photos. But something super easy that literally anyone can do is with the app Retouch. I don't know if it's like something that you pay for, but you can edit stuff out of photos really easily. For example, let's take this photo. Okay, I don't like how this light things in it, you literally just go like this and then hit go and it removes it from the photo. And so here are some applications of me literally getting rid of people. Like as you can see in this one, I was in New York City and there were so many people in it that I was just like, I kind of want them gone. I edited them all away. If there's like stuff that can get you in trouble with like your sorority or whatever you're in, you can just remove things from the photos using retouch. It's just super duper easy. I think it makes your photos look more clean and more put together. So it's definitely an app that I use a lot and I think it's really, really useful to have. Some other just like random apps to make artsy things are Mojo for like stories and just like cute little videos and stuff like that. It presents your videos and stuff in an interesting way. I don't know why I had a difficult time describing that, but Mojo's a really cool app. PixArt's a really good app. BozArt's a really good app. So that's kind of just like my aesthetic of how I like edit my photos, plan out my photos, do little designs, make cute little collage boards and collage walls. And yeah, if you guys have any more questions in regards to certain things, please feel free to ask them in the comments or DM me on Instagram. So yeah, that's kind of the end of the video of how I get my whole like artsy aesthetic vibe. I don't even know. My aesthetic changes every other day. Sometimes I'm like super like, woo, butterflies and rainbows. And then the other day I'm like, ooh, let's go for like a plain black and white aesthetic, like no color at all. Aesthetics can also be really inspiring. And so like for me, I know I said that my collage walls and collage boards act as like inspiration boards, but they really do. Like if I have like a really bright, fun like board, that just makes me happy every single time I look at it. I love having creative content and the stuff I put out on social media being like very presentable and very put together and just stuff that inspires me and inspires others, I guess, maybe. If it does, yay. But that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions or any video ideas that you'd like me to make, please let me know. I never know how to end these videos that are like non-college oriented because I usually just say go Aztecs. So I don't really know what to say. Treat people with kindness. Never forget about the ones that love you back. Now or never. See good in all things. Peace out. Bye.